G'day and welcome back to Stitch Up and another episode of Planet Coaster. This is episode 4 of Deep Blue Sea The Ride, and yes, there's been some changes. There's been some huge changes after a really big break on this, with this particular ride, and I'll go into exactly why there was a break. There's a very legitimate reason for it, but I thought I'd just start off by showing you that I didn't realize you can color the sharks. So the mako sharks are a lot darker than the white sharks, and the white sharks are anyway, even the sharks, they're just a bit of a color that doesn't really resonate. So I've changed the colors to these two for this one, and but this is not the only change we're doing in Deep Blue Sea The Ride. We had a disaster. We lost the entire ride, guys. I have spent the last 2 months, just with a bit each day, so it's not been 2 months in total, but a bit each day rebuilding the entire thing. And I think if you compare it with the previous one, let me just jump off that, so the shark is just swimming. The habitat, the actual, the ride, it is, the submarine base. It's bigger. It's a lot bigger. And I haven't worked out the routing path, but let's just have a little bit of an explore. It's basically the same layout, 3 pens, but not so symmetrical. So I like how this one kind of, comes across here, and then there's even a raised bit as well, and we don't know what's happening with a step down. There might be something going on there. And this is the side of the building. You've got some undercover areas, but if we look at the detail as well, there's even these bits here which you can see down into the superstructure, and that's kind of, look, you can see the ocean rolling by underneath. That is quite cool. So we're trying to just get it so that when you get in here in the ride, you get a real sense of realism. There's your scale, and you get a bit of a sense of realism as you get in here. And so we're doing a few different things like this. So this is how we're going to progress, and I just wanted to take you through the way it looks. So it still has a door in the same spot, it still has a tower, but I think we've got a lot more of concrete here. Now I know the concrete looks quite new, but it's a bigger concrete structure, but I think it kind of works. And I think the idea is you're supposed to be down there and you're supposed to get the idea that she's up in the town, she can look across at everything. I think where I've got my scale a little bit off is the size of the in-house structure here. So I did want the ride to come into here. And I guess the big reveal will be from this show building, which I'll talk to you about the show building in just a sec, because there is a show building in this one. And you will come past. And just before I lost the ride, the previous ride, I'm going to tell you how I lost it. Just before I lost that, I did have the plane here, so the plane and a boat. But then I had quite a large, luxurious yacht. And I guess you came off the ride, you came out into the show building, and there was a bit of a rectangular looking or an octagonal looking, six-sided, septagonal, is it? A six-sided show building, which was nowhere near the size of this show building. You would come through that, and I didn't quite get to recording that. Anyway, you would come into the habitat, and you would come in through, and you would have a look all around. You get to see the Gen 1 sharks, and then the big Gen 2, and it's all kind of nice. And as we go through this ride, the whole ride should last maybe between 4 and 6 minutes, I guess. And you get the idea that everything's cool, but something's going on, and they start to tell the story of it. And I guess with this ride and the other ride I'm building simultaneously with this is Dante's Peak. And with both of them, these are not they are movie coasters, but they're also a slight different interpretation of it. So I don't need to follow the exact script. I don't need to make sure that everything that happens in the movie happens in the ride and in the same sequence. There can be some different things. This was planned to be very much, a copy of all the scenes. But I think I'm evolving with that idea somewhat slightly. It's a bit like you want them to get the idea of the movie, but not like a sequel. I don't want it so different that it's like a sequel. Anyway, so we got the habitat. You would come in through here and you'd have a big reveal, and you would then, and we're going to actually play with the ride vehicle in this episode. But the ride vehicle will move through all these bits and see stuff. But I guess the idea of the two doors, which eventually they'll go into one and then down in, and everything happens and kick off. And then later on, they'll actually emerge from here. from another door, and I want the ride to come back out through another door, but I don't know if I need two separate doors, because when the ride does come out, it's not going to be this set. It's going to be a duplicate of most of this set. This set here has 2,853 pieces, and by the way guys, the show building has 10,000 pieces, I believe. You can only copy 5,000 at a time, so it's got 2 stacks of the max of 5,000 pieces sitting on top of each other, or just under 10,000 I think is the count of the show building. So I don't know if that's just going to completely kill frame rate. I don't know whether, but this is the only way I know that I can do you know, the surrounding the surrounding kind of areas, but with you know, because I don't want them to see mountains in the background, but then I've got this sort of clipping. So you can see here I'm starting to play with some terrain, and we've got a few different things, a few different options. This is all about experimenting and getting that to getting it to its next stage. So how do we have to how do we lose everything and basically had to rebuild? Well, I didn't realize, but you can upload, obviously you can upload your builds to the workshop, and I hadn't done that, and I lost everything on my computer, and I was using a well, and when we were building Deep Blue Sea the ride as well, remember I was just building it and the frame rate was bad, and it was like, oh my god. And I think I always planned to build, and then when I would finally record the episode or the actual finished product, and I would record the playthrough, I think I'd always planned to do that on a different computer, whether it be mine or someone else's. And in the end, I ended up getting this spectacular new rig. So I have a GeForce 2060 gaming GPU. I've got a I can't remember is it an AMD 8 physical cores with another 16 in the background. I've got, it's a kitted out computer, and it runs everything beautifully. So I don't know about the show building. The show building might go, but yeah, it runs Planet Coaster absolutely beautifully. My previous one just wouldn't do anything like this. So this is kind of where we are. And as I'm obsessed with a model railroad YouTuber at the moment called Chadwick Model Railways. Please check them out because they're spectacular. You don't even have to like model railways, but this guy is in his 60s and he just puts together really good kind of very serious but kind of a bit of a chuckle as well videos about model trains. And one of his little catchphrases is "we are where we are." And I think in the world of model trains, you know, they find themselves like, this is where we are, we have to just build out of it. And this is where we are with this as well. This is where we are with Deep Blue Sea the ride. We have to now go ahead and just get on with it because the ride is coming along. So let's talk about ride vehicles, and I guess I want to talk to you about the sort of the general layout of everything. So I've created I've extended it to a maximum size. So I think the original line of the park was here. I've moved it out in the scenario editor, and I've created a spawn point of here, and I'm hoping that this is going to work. So the ride vehicle will start about here, and there'll be an outer scene. And the outer scene is going to be from that first scene in the movie. So this is the one, and I've talked about this in the first couple of episodes. This will be the scene where, you know, it's quite dark because it happens at night time, but there's 4 people partying on a catamaran yacht, and shark attacks because it's one of these that got out and it attacks it, and the shark wrangler comes in and saves them. So and that's going to be that kind of thing. It's going to kind of be, you know, the aftermath of that, and that'll be either the walkthrough for the ride, or it'll be as the ride vehicle leaves the station. That'll be the scene that it goes and sees. So really, scene 2 will be Aquatica. Is it Aquatica? Now I do this every episode. I forget the name of the ride, but let's put that down in the comments so we don't forget it. I'm going to write it down here as well. I forget the name of the actual submarine base in the movie. It's not Aquatica. I'll think of it. I don't think it's Aquatica. It's something a bit cooler. It's not super amazing, but yeah, a bit cooler. So the ride vehicle at this point needs to get down into here. Now I don't know if, like, when the ride vehicle comes in, he has to go through this, and I've got a way that I want the lift to go as well. Like I've got a certain sort of plan for how the ride's going to go. So let's just quickly talk about some ride vehicles, and we'll get some in here and start to just have a bit of a look about how it all looks. Now this won't be how we're actually going to this won't be laying the final vehicle, but let's lay a couple of things. Okay, track rides. Now we want coasters, don't we? Yep, we do. Okay, now I'm gonna go to transport rides and custom. And right down the end, I'm going to say the I think it was either going to be the Huntsman, and I think in episode 3 we talked about the Huntsman. But in here, let me just see, because I don't think I need a lot of speed. The robotic arm could be cool, but I just don't know about the robotic arm if he's going to be... I think the robotic arm really needs to be sunk below. And I don't think that's going to work too well for our lifts, our corridors. Maybe. Let's do this though. Let's get these guys. Let's put them down here anyway. So we've got this guy here, and we're going to leave it. Okay, and then we go back to track rides, and we're going to put down the Huntsman, and again, just moving him here, so we'll put him down here. We all know about the Huntsman and what he does and how he looks. We definitely played with that in episode 3, but let's go in here and we'll put down this one here, the Motion track ride. And this guy is a bit like the Huntsman, but instead of 2 and 2, he looks like he looks like a bigger version of the Huntsman, and he's going to be 4 and 4. Now, for throughput, that's great, but for the size of the track, see, it doesn't need to look like that. I basically, in this one, I need the smallest possible, don't I? I'm actually not ruling out I'm using this one, to be honest. Because if this places... if you can basically look at where this thing is looking, then I can tilt it down to the shark. I can spin it around, I can hold it still and put it inside the lift and then spin it. And if we have a look there, if we can, excuse me, I'm going to cough. There we are. It's one of those mornings where you just need to cough. Here we go. But you can't cough in these days, can you? It's all Rona, really. Okay, so if we have a bit of a look here, let's grab this guy for scale. And if I just jump out of there and jump straight back into here, please. And I want to get... and I want to duplicate him in front of the door to start with, right? So let's put him there. Right, he's there. Because that is basically the size of a person in the ride. That's quite a big lift door too. It's a coaster door. But for the purpose of this, it has to be a lift, doesn't it? It does have to be a lift. Okay. And let's see here. Now, let me just see exactly what we've got here, because this is here, and I'm going to put one just here because I want to drag this out. Okay. I think we might have to stick with the Huntsman in this one. I mean, in the Aliens ride that came out a few years ago, they use a fast coaster, but it really has to race through. And in this one, I don't think we have a lot where we're being chased too much. And even when we're being chased by the sharks, I think it's more about go around. This is a dark ride. This is not about speed. This is about a dark ride. So this is all about, you know, indoor. It's about the lighting. It's about the attack of the shark. So yeah, that's going to be that is going to be interesting. Okay, let's have a look and see. So if we were to do, let me just check out this. So what is this one called again? The Remotion. And we want to edit the track. Let's see. So basically the track can be quite hidden, which is pretty good. But you've got 2 tracks. You've got an upper and a lower track as well. So let's just see. We want to go, are we, hang on, this is the up and down. Yeah. Let me make him longer. And let me then also turn off angle snap, and let's start to look at some of the curves we can have. Now, why is he doing that? If I do it like this, there we go, that's better. I just want to see how small some of these curves can be as well, because basically I want to see how tight some of the angles can be. So let's get him right down to the very smallest section. And am I at a right angle there? I think I might be. Might be just... oh, I'm not even angle snap, so I'll never be able to tell. Right, so let me just see what the absolute sharpest curve can be. Are we the very shortest? We are. And how do we... let's go front on. And we'll swing him across. Now that's basically your right angle there. That's not too bad. I think it's quite good actually, because yeah, that isn't too bad. Okay, let's go up and have a look at him. And if we just do... so let's bring him across a bit and get him up. So there's the incline. The incline isn't very much. That's fine. Let's see what the... let's go, if we go up and then try and bring him to 0. Yes, good. And then we'll go straight. So let's bring this to 0, please. Thank God. Can we just go to 0? Yep, it snaps to 0. If we go straight down and then do this, we can see it's -5 degrees. So you've got a 5-degree incline and decline there. I don't know if decline's the right word actually, but I went with it. And I think he's back to 0. Okay. Now if we do this, the bottom rail is now hidden. So let me just run him in test mode and we'll see what he does. And we'll start to have a look at this ride vehicle outside of his station, which always, you know, and we can see. Because if I can sync the track into the ride, into the building, then really it's only when this guy comes along, but it's when we're on board. Hang on, I want to see that. So what have we got here? Oh, yep. Cinematics, and here's the seats, and here's the interest. We want the seats, and I guess what we need is a different seat. So train 1, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 seats. Let's say in seat 1. But can you now look down? Can you look up? Yeah, I know with the Huntsman I can tilt it and stuff. This one here, he always looks to the side. And I wonder, and he's going down. You can see the decline now as well. So he's getting out of that, yep, into the decline. So he always kind of looks to the side. So let's now use this bit here. Right, no, sorry. Okay, that's a decline. So I don't think we can for that bit. Stop, start, track, standard track. So if we use a stop-start track here, Control-C, pitch. Allows the ride to stop for a certain amount of time before continuing. We just cannot get rid of that cough, can we? Okay. So if we do this, just get rid of this bit. Okay, now why... ah, there we go. Okay, cool. So the seat pitch next. Okay, let's do this. So if he starts off there at 30 degrees, let's try that again. Did that work? I think that worked. Let's try that. And let's see if we can then turn it. So this is going to be a case. Can I... Yep. Don't know what I did then. Let's go like this. And let's go out here, and we want to go like this. So if we're having a look at him, he's in the air. So he's facing upwards at the moment. We'd never want him to face upwards in this ride, but I guess it's 90 degrees. So what I've said is this entire section, we want him to tilt back. Okay, and that's not too bad. Okay, so we've got options there. Again, I don't know if this is the option that I want. And if we do that, we've got stop, start, track. And if we do this, so it was control, what is it here? Control seat pitch, and he's 90 degrees. Now, if I stick this back to, where was it? About back to 0. The car rotation and the seat spin. Now, we want the car rotation to be 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees. Yep, I want it to be minus 90. And I want the spin of the seat, so it should be facing either forwards or back, not left or right. And the seat spin here, let's do this one. Actually, is that going to show it? It might, and the next one. Ooh, he just goes straight into it, doesn't he? He's facing forward, and I think it's the rotation and the seat spin I've got there. So, yeah, this is all going to be very... This could be quite difficult to put together, but it could also work quite well. And I believe if we just go back here, extend the track a bit, let's see. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and let's get him going up. Yes, okay, let's get him going back this way, and he can go back, back, back. And I'm just thinking if I might just get this now to just basically get all the way back. Let's see if he can now go, can he now go under the ride? I think he can, so he can cross himself. I want him to auto-complete. Let me do this. And I am angle snapped here, aren't I? I am. I think I've got ride collision well off in this. Okay, let's see about this. Ooh, actually, let's get him just going in a bit more of a circle than that. And there we go. Can he do this? Can he please just angle? Alright, just make him a bit smaller. And I want to, yep, basically want that. Okay, cool. So he's basically connected now. Let me just see. Okay, good. So one thing here is the rail is fine. Actually, one thing I'm going to do, if I can, is just go like this. Yeah. And I want to see if I can drop this further into the ground. So let's go down another 5 degrees. Yep. And we go further into the ground. And now this is good. Because what we can do here is we can have the ride sitting just below the grade there. Let me go up to 0. Yeah, there you go. So now the ride is sitting below the ground completely. And okay. Now, how do I select the ride again? There we go. I'm here. Yeah, and I do this. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so now what I've discovered with this one is he can sit below the ground, which is great with the settings that I've got. So I'm not ruling this one out. I think he's the contender. I think this one's gone, actually, because he's just too big. And I think this guy, when he's the right thing, I think he could also be... Yeah, I think the Huntsman could also be the way to go. We need to see what the tracks are like for the Huntsman, because actually... You've got this kind of, let me see. Oh, no, I think, because I was thinking maybe you have a different type of track, but you don't. This track, let's edit. Yeah, he's that wide, isn't he? He's sort of this big, yeah. Okay, so he's like that. And this guy, let's move him and bring him over there as well. and we are gonna start looking at different parts of the ride now and just talking through where we're gonna go with this. But I want to put one of these ride vehicles onto the ride. So yeah, he is like that. Now if I have a look, standard track, stop start track. So standard track with rails, is it? Yep. And stop start track is the same width as well. And if I go back to this one and do the edit the track, and you've got standard track with rails, and I believe stop start track. Yeah, so same functionality. And if I do the stop start track and go like that's yep. So these guys here, so basically in this section I'm saying to him, control the pitch, control the yaw, and control the roll. So Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, pitch up and down, because I've been playing that. Roll is this way. Yep, so roll is actual roll, and yaw is that, so left to right, so a horizontal left hand turn without rolling at all. So the yaw is, do I want to go that way and that way, I believe. Yep. And pitch, I'm going up, I'm going down, and the roll is banking in, is turning left but actually banking, and it won't actually turn in a roll unless he has a bit of yaw, I believe. So actually, do you know what, I think based on this, because if we go to the other ride vehicle, I think we're talking degrees, and I think this, I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of the building off camera and in speed building as well, and showing you and then narrating it. So I think as well, I can work out the other one, and I'm happy to put the time in for the other one as well, but I just don't know if the angle thing is going to be the part that kills it for me. So if I do this, yeah, pitch, so we've got pitch up and down, car rotation, which is the whole car, yeah, forward or thingo, and then in that, seat spin, so whole car turning, seat spinning. I don't know why you need both of those. And then control the arm pitch. Let me see what the arm does. Okay, let me just jump out of that and just see what happened there. Was that, which section was I doing? This one. Yeah. I think it was this section, wasn't it? Yeah, let's go. So we go forward. Let's do forward a bit more. Watch him race through this. So he's tilting across a little bit. You know, it may work, this. It is a cool looking ride vehicle. I think it looks cooler than the Huntsman as well. But yeah, let's see. So let's just see if he does anything. I want to put one of these guys into the damn thing. So we're gonna just yeah, so he's actually swung the arm out, I believe. Has he? Yeah, I think he swung the arm across a bit, because I've said control it at 56 degrees. So 45 right there, 45 right there, and he's 56 a little bit across. 90, 45, and he's a bit more across in between 90 and the 45. Okay, so we would be able to work out either of these. But I think for now, because this episode we've not really built a lot, but let's get the Huntsman. And let's go put a new Huntsman in, actually, because it's Planet Coaster and we can do absolutely anything we want, including pick the wrong one. Here we go. Okay, so let's do a couple of things here. Let's put firstly, now that's water, so he doesn't like any of that. Righty. Let me do this. Let me go from here and let me do this. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start to see how this all works. This is going to be very crude. Let's get the maximum length, because we really just need to get some distance, actually. And if I just turn the angle off there, are we going to... Oh, angle on, actually. Hang on. Are we... What are we... There we go. Okay, where are we after? We're after that. So I need him to swing in a bit. Yep, there we go. And he goes straight in. Now, I want to basically get to here for this. I think he should be well and truly in a bit. There he goes. He's heading towards it. Okay, let's get him looking good. Now, do we have supports on? Track supports, yes. Track supports. What else? And everything else is control. Okay, nice. And so let's use stop start track. I think we use the stop start track. And let's start to get him into a good position and really coming along the middle of the ride. Okay, good. So there's where we need to be, and we want to be kind of there. Now, it's going to be, there are a lot of grade changes here, so it's going to be kind of like, you know, we got to find a balance of not clipping their feet through things. And then if I can get him to, so if he's here, can I get him to be at 0 degrees? Yep. And at this point, what are these turns going to be like? Because that's where I'm probably going to, when I have a right hand turn, so this is good. So I get the ride vehicle on, I realize this is what I need to do. I'm probably going to have a little landing here. And I might have to have, basically, so you can, so the ride vehicle should go only where people should be able to walk. And that's how it's going to have to work. Let me get him right down. Okay, and we'll just get him across a little bit. Actually, please, are you at 0? I don't know if you are. I don't think you were. I think you're on at an incline there. So let's get you at 0. Should click down to 0. Yep. And let me get him just slightly in a bit. Okay, and now the very shortest possible. And now we're now we're cooking. Kind of. Are we still as short as we can? Let me just see about this. No, we aren't. Now we are. Right. Okay, I'm actually just going to go in here like this, and now I'm going to see if I can turn it. So now I think the difference is now, and I'm probably too low, but the difference is I've got a bit of room to make these turns. Like, look at that. Look at that. So basically my landing doesn't have to be anywhere near. And I really should line it all up. I will line it all up and use angle snap as well. We're going to run a test shortly with the Huntsman and just see about the height of this and just see how we are. But at the moment, you can't really tell he's there, which is kind of cool. Okay, we don't want him wobbling everywhere. We want him to find the right pitch and then go. Okay, this is just a test, guys. And we're going to take us through one of our bridges that I just created as well. And we're going to see if we can get him to look down at one of the sharks. So the sharks are there. Okay. And let's start the test. Okay, so let's just see the Huntsman come through now. So here he is. He comes out. Should we do this? Yeah, we'll do that. There he goes. Come through the... clip straight through that wall, please. And here he is. Okay, he's going to come through shortly. Ooh. He sort of got stuck on the wall there a bit, didn't he? Okay, let's go to speed 1 and now jump into the camera. And we are now... See, now I can look around a bit, and I kind of don't mind that. But I don't want to see the front of the ride. Can I move? I think he wants to be in seat 2. Okay, yep, we're going to be in the front of the ride. And I think that's just how it's going to have to be. Let's see. So we would change all this a little bit so you can actually come in here and he can start to look around. I think he does need to be... Because I don't want to see... Yeah, I'm not overly sure that I want to see that. I think when we want to see a shark, we turn the whole ride vehicle and we stop it and we tilt it down. And we go, there you go, and we tilt it in. And there's the end of the ride. So that is how it's going to work, and we'll be able to run lots of tests, but I'll be able to start to also work out what the course of the ride is and start to map it out. I'm going to draw that down here as well. Now this episode is already getting into quite a bit of time, so we're looking at a long episode, so I am going to leave it here. But this has been the update to show you the new habitat and basically the new build, the show building. Talk about the ride vehicles again, and I'm down to either one of these two. Please leave your comments if you let me know if you think one works better than the other. Then please let me know about that as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are playing at the moment. If you're watching this as it comes out, we are doing a Christmas series in Planet Coaster, a very stitched up Christmas. So look out for that one. That's quite popular, and of course Dante's Peak the ride, and all our regular stuff is still here on Stitch Up. And I'll see you in the very next episode. Cheers.